Fires were lit as angry protests broke out outside the Ferguson Police Department in suburban St. Louis, after authorities on Monday announced that a grand jury voted not to indict Officer Daren Wilson in the August shooting of unarmed black teen Michael Brown.
The duty of the grand jury is to separate fact from fiction. After a full and impartial and critical examination of all the evidence in the law, and decide if that evidence supported the filing of any criminal charges against Daren Wilson.
Police in Ferguson used smoke canisters and trucks to force waves of violent protesters down the street, away from the police building, soon after sporadic gunshots were heard. Flames from a burning car rose into the night sky hours after the grand jury voted not to indict Officer Daren Wilson in the shooting death of 18-year-old Michael Brown. Police who formed a wall of clear riot shields outside the precinct were pelted with bottles and cans as the crowd surged up and down the street. Dozens of police and military vehicles were poised for possible mass arrests not far from the stretch of Ferguson streets that saw the worst of the rioting after Wilson shot Brown in August. In a late-night appearance in the White House briefing room, Obama urged Americans to understand that much work remained to be done to improve relations between black Americans and law enforcement.
First and foremost, we are a nation built on the rule of law. And so we need to accept that this decision was the grand jury's to make. There are Americans who agree with it, and there are Americans who are deeply disappointed, even angry. It's an understandable reaction.
From California to New York, large crowds took to the streets to protest the news. Brown's family immediately urged a non-violent response to the grand jury's decision. Officials urged tolerance and assured residents that the National Guard would provide security at critical facilities like firehouses, police stations and utility substations.